Hello everyone, I'm Charlie Davis of Capital Athletics. This is part one of the bi-weekly Capital Men's Basketball podcast. And joining me now, the head coach of the Capital Men's Basketball program, David Goodwin. Coach, let's talk about some coaches, honestly. Unfortunately, college basketball lost a couple of big giants. I want to start with Dean Smith, an innovator, the Four Corners offense, highly regarded as not only as a great coach, but a great human being as well. When you think of Dean Smith, what do you think of?
Well, he obviously had some talented teams as well, and great players at North Carolina. Was there for a very, very long time, created a great program, and to this day I think they still try to live up to what he established. And you know, it's a tragedy. I understand at the end he wasn't mentally very aware, and I'm sure that was a tough way to go, but a great tradition, great man, a great coach for college basketball.
Another standout coach that is gone, Jerry Tarkanian. I think a lot of people, when they think of Tarkanian, they think of the guy that's biting on the towel. He had some great teams at UNLV, winning the national championship in 1990 with the Running Rebels. What do you take away when you think of Jerry Tarkanian?
Well, that was actually the first Final Four that I attended, was when they won the national championship. It was in Denver. And what a tremendous team and a fun team to watch. And actually, Tarkanian was a very good friend of my college coach, Don Danhoff. It's kind of like salt and pepper. You wouldn't think that would be the way, but they were very, very good friends. So I was actually around him a little bit when I was coaching at Dayton, when I was playing at Dayton, and when through different events. So I know that they were very good friends, and I have all kinds of respect for my college coach, and I know that he thought Tark was a great coach as well.
Speaking of your college coach, congratulations. I heard Don Danhoff is elected to the College Basketball Hall of Fame. He's part of the 2015 class. Yeah. That has to be pretty cool, as being a former player.
Very, very special. Very deserving as well, but it's a very special thing for Coach Danhoff and for the University of Dayton. He is the first University of Dayton person, player, coach to be inducted into the College Basketball Hall of Fame, and just a tremendous honor for a tremendous man.
Let's now talk about Senior Day last Saturday. Not the result that you were looking for, as you fell to ball and won 79-71. But before the game, you got to honor Adam Blake, Andrew Bolka, Ben Danhoff, and Daniel Oki. Let's take each player individually. Let's start with Adam Blake. I know that he's had to have dealt with some injuries in the past, but anytime he got there on the court, did a great job of setting up his teammates, especially on offense.
Well, Adam is the only kid in our program that really has a positive assist-turnover ratio for us this year. That's been part of our problem, is turnovers. And Adam's a kid that has started a number of games, and you know, all this season is not the way we all envisioned happening. So it's been a tough year, but Adam has hung in there, worked hard. Probably has been our most vocal leader all season long, and I certainly respect the things that he's done on the basketball floor for our program.
Let's take a look now at Andrew Bolka, lead rebounder in the OAC. He is one tough hombre. He got a little tired there at the middle of the season, but he's really picked up his play as of late. A cornerstone for your program the last couple of years.
Yeah, really was a big part of our OAC championship team a couple years ago, and has been one of the best rebounders in the league for the past 3 years. So also shot it well. You know, has become better as a free throw shooter, has become better in his field goal percentages, and is a 3-year starter for us. So has anchored our post game for us.
Ben Danhoff, who we will be talking with during the second half of the Capital Men's Basketball podcast. Good shooter. He loves that 15, 10-footer from the foul line. A good rebounder as well. Never really saw him sag in terms of effort all season.
No, and actually Ben was a starter on a league championship team as well. His second year, this is his 5th year, he had a medical red shirt, but his second year was a starter on our 2012 OAC championship team, and has brought some toughness and physical play to our program, and has shot the ball very well for us this year, and we're going to need him to do that tomorrow as we prepare for Marianne as well.
And finally, Daniel Oki, another guy who was banged up for most of the year because of injuries, but lately he's been an impact shooter from the three-point line.
Yeah, he can stretch the defense out a little bit for us, and has an inconsistent year from being available, being hurt, being sick, and has kind of had a career that way, and he's always had to fight through some injury issues and problems, but shooting 40% from 3 for us now, and hopefully he can continue to do that this week.
So now you head into the OAC tournament. Before we get to the matchup with Marietta, what does it take to be successful in the OAC tournament? You coached in a few of these over the years.
Yeah, it comes down to the team that's the hottest and that's playing the best. And we've won 3 of our last 4, and that's the way we need to approach it. That's what we've talked about. Marietta is a very, very good basketball team. It's going to be a huge challenge for us, but our guys in our program have been through this before. They know what it takes, and if we go play our best game, I think it's going to be one heck of a basketball game.
Let's talk a little bit more about that game. The last matchup, it seemed like it could have been a much closer game if Marietta hadn't shot over 60% from the three-point line. I mean, obviously the perimeter shooting is going to be a big key, especially on defense. What are going to be some other keys against the Pioneers?
Well, against good teams, you have to give something. You can't defend everything, and we have decided to try to take away the rim, try to take away the paint, and make teams shoot it over the top of us. BW did that on Saturday. Marietta did that the past couple weeks ago, the last time we played them. And we're really not going to change from that philosophy. They're going to have to. We're going to try to keep them from getting to the rim and contest their shots. Get your hands up and make contested threes. And if they make those threes, it's probably going to be a tough night for us. But if we can get up and defend and make it tough for them, well, I think we'll have a chance to stay in there.
Looking to shock the world as you travel up to Marietta to take on the Pioneers. What do you ultimately take away from this season? I know it's been disappointing compared to years past.
Well, it's been one of the most difficult seasons I've had as a coach. I will tell you that. But that's life. You don't get. You have to learn how to play a bad hand well sometimes, and that's a great life lesson for our staff, for our players. That sometimes things don't turn out the way you want them to turn out, but you keep fighting, you keep competing, you keep trying to get better, and you keep trying to do things the right way. And that's the process that we're going through right now. And the funny thing about basketball, though, is if you win a couple games at the right time this season, everybody forgets about maybe some of those struggles. And for our program, that time of the season is now. If we can get through here and win 2-3 games, all of a sudden everybody's like, wow, what happened there? And then you move forward, and that's our concentration.
Finally, Coach, our random question of the week. Oscar weekend. The Oscars were yesterday, actually. I want to ask you a couple questions in terms of Hollywood stuff. Your favorite actor, your favorite actress, and your go-to movie. I know that Hoosiers is one of your favorite sports movies.
Yeah, we've already talked about that a few weeks ago. I like the Mel Gibson movies, I guess. That's probably one of my, I watched The Gladiators and all those kind of things. But I really do like the movies. I saw American Sniper a couple weeks ago.
Very good movie.
Really enjoyed it. Saw Unbroken a couple weeks ago as well. Really enjoyed it. That's kind of what my wife and I do to get away from the hustle and bustle of our lives. Sometimes we go to movies. But probably my all-time favorites are Rocky. I grew up. I was late 70s. I was a teenager. Saw the Rocky movies and thought that was pretty cool. And that's probably still one of my all-time favorites.
All right, Coach. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
That was head coach Damon Goodwin joining us here on the first half of the bi-weekly Capital Men's Basketball Podcast. Coming up, we'll be talking with senior center Ben Danhoff. For Capital Athletics, I'm Charlie Danis. We'll see you next time. Hello everyone, I'm Charlie Danis of Capital Athletics. This is part 2 of the bi-weekly Capital Men's Basketball Podcast, and joining me now, the senior center, Ben Danhoff. Ben, thanks so much for joining us here today. So I understand that you are a Clyde, Ohio native. Can you describe your hometown for us?
I love growing up in Clyde. It's a real small town. Everyone knows everybody. Great community, especially to play sports in. Everyone's really supportive.
Speaking of sports, obviously you're a basketball player. How were you introduced to the game?
My dad got me started at a really young age. He was an official actually in the OAC for a while, and he went on to the Big Ten and stuff like that. So I always followed him around. Got started there.
Were there any coaches or players that you looked up to when you were a kid?
I got to see a lot of the, like I said, OAC games, so I was always, picking and choosing my favorite teams. But it was just fun to kind of grow up around the game.
Who were some of your favorite players during that time? Or favorite teams, for that matter?
Well, I was always a big Cleveland fan, Cleveland Cavs. I loved watching Mark Price back in the day, a long time ago. And just see, the evolution of the Cavs. When LeBron came at first, and then when he left, came back again.
And you were happy that he came back, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you feel about the Cavs this year?
I like watching them. they're having a little rough year, but
Yeah, hopefully they can move up in the standings. Why did you choose Capital?
I chose Capital because it was actually, my major fit perfectly. It's a great city to be in, and Coach Goodwin really drew me in, just with his mentality, how he runs his program, and just the way he described how you'd come out of his program at the end of it.
I often hear the phrase Cap family thrown around. Is there truth to that?
Yeah, there is. No matter what sport you play, if you're in an organization, fraternity, just a normal student, everyone's real accommodating to everybody.
Coach Goodwin has obviously played a huge role, not only as your development as a basketball player, but also as a person. Can you talk about his impact that he has had on you the last 4 years?
Yeah, he molds you, into the kind of guy you really need to become. Any imperfections, anything, he really points in the right direction. We learn a lot of life lessons, a lot just outside of basketball.
You are a senior this year. I'm sure that there are a lot of memories that have gone through your head, especially with Senior Day this past weekend. You were part of a couple teams that won some OAC regular season championships, some OAC tournament championships. What are some of the big memories that stick out from your time here at Capital?
My freshman year, I was like the last guy on the bench. So I've been from there to like starting position. I've been on a couple really good teams, and now we've gone through some lows this season. So I've kind of had the full spectrum, and it's a great experience. You learn a lot. You go through a lot of highs and lows. So pretty well-rounded experience at Capital.
You touched upon it. It's been a rough year compared to years past. How are you and the rest of the seniors, guys like Adam Blake, Andrew Bulk, and Daniel Oki, how do you continue to be focused as you get ready for the OAC tournament?
We just know that the way we've been playing the last couple games is the way we really could have been playing all year. Things start clicking at the right time. We just couldn't get it going earlier on, but any team can lose any given night. It just depends who comes ready to play and who doesn't. So we just have to know that in the back of our head and just stay focused.
Senior Day was this past weekend, and I'm sure it was pretty emotional. You were out there on the floor with Adam Blake, Andrew Boca, and Daniel Oki. You were out there with your parents as well. Some hugs and handshakes with Coach Goodwin. What were some of the emotions that were going through your mind at that time?
Just a lot of flashbacks through all the practices, scrimmages, everything. Just having family and friends come to the games. Just kind of reliving all that. It was a good experience. Senior Day, it's something you thought would never come, and then it's finally there and it's over before you know it.
And that has to be cool for your parents to see you go from a young freshman to now this guy that's about to graduate from college, and we'll get into what you will be doing after your time here at Capital, but I'm sure that was a pretty special moment for them as well.
Yeah, I'm sure they're ready to see me move on and start something else, start another journey, but they've been really supportive too throughout the whole process.
So let's talk about your opponent in the OAC tournament. Marietta, team that's only lost twice the entire year. They've been ranked in the top 3, top 5 for the most of this season. You guys played them pretty close in the last matchup before they went absolutely crazy from 3 and pulled away. Now you have to go to their place and try to knock them off. What will it take to shock the world?
Just us being ready to play from the start, and I'm sure we're going to go in with the same mentality that if they're going to beat us, it's going to be on 20-some three-point made shots. Sorry about that, started there. But if we can limit them to just beating us by the three-pointer, then we'll live with that.
Now I want to focus on you as a player. Seems like you have like a love affair with your hair, man. Like I've seen pictures of you, like you had the head shaved bald, and then this year the long hair, and now you got it in like a ponytail and stuff like that. Like, do you like to change it up every once in a while, or what?
Yeah, I kind of went from one end of the spectrum to the other. I figured, I'm probably gonna go bald soon, so I had to get long hair one shot in my life. So.
Hey, I hear you, brother.
Yeah.
It's 30 on top. You got to love it while it lasts.
Yeah.
So I understand you're an exercise science major, and you want to be a chiropractor someday. So why do you want to work on people's backs for a living?
I had a bad injury in high school. Broke my back. I fractured a couple vertebrae. Had a couple slip discs, and that was the only thing that really helped me. I went through everything: physical therapy, like massage therapy, had like cortisone shots and everything. The only thing that really worked for me was a chiropractor, and I became really close to my chiropractor back home, and that's just kind of pointed me in the right direction.
Interesting. Okay. Well, we wish you the best of luck with that. Finally, Ben, we always like to end these segments with the random question of the week. I don't know if you were aware, but it was Oscar Sunday this week. My 3 questions for you: your favorite actor, your favorite actress, and your favorite movie.
Favorite actor? It's a toss-up between Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler, probably.
Okay.
Actress. Julia Roberts has had really good roles.
Okay.
Like that. Favorite movie of all time? Just.
Yeah.
It'd have to be Man on Fire with Denzel.
Okay. Yeah, good movie. Denzel. I remember him in Training Days. That was also a good movie as well.
Oh, yeah.
Ben, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks a lot for having me.
That was Ben Danhoff joining us here on the second half of the Capital Men's Basketball Podcast. For Capital Athletics, I'm Charlie Danis. We'll see you next time.